Hi and welcome. Today we're going to build a Dodge Charger from Revell. This will be my first build and a lot is going wrong. I mean a lot. I'm not too happy with the results, as you will see later in the video. But I tried and I'm going to try to make each next build better and better. First I inspected the body and checked for any problems or big lines that need to be cut away or sanded away. Just getting familiar with the body and the body lines. After the inspection, I was sanding down the whole body with 600 grit sandpaper. This way I can sand down all the panel lines and I can also rough the texture of the body. This car comes with two different hoods and I chose the big hood, the sportier one, because I liked it more for a muscle car. Used a much too big scriber from Tamiya. In the meantime, I also ordered smaller ones because the lines were too big and it was not realistic anymore. Now it was time to prime the whole body. I used Tamiya Surface Prime and I think it works great. I give it 2 coats, or maybe I did 3. It's also funny for me to see this spray boot that I created. I have a new version already, but the footage you're watching right now I filmed, I guess it was 2 months ago. After the primer has dried, I sanded down the whole body again and also degreased it again before I was going to paint it. The paint I'm using is Tamiya Gloss Orange and I tinned it 1 and 1 in the airbrush and I tinned it with Tamiya X20A. And if you tin it down 50-50, it flows nicely into the airbrush and it sprays nicely on the car. The orange did require a lot of layers of paint. I think I put 4 layers of orange on the body. And then I put 3 layers of clear, also from Tamiya. After the paint has hardened, I was going to wet sand the paint before I was going to polish it, just to get rid of any orange peel effect, or just to give it a bit more shine. Used to detail cars, so I had some car polish lying around which I used, and it worked great. The paint results aren't the best yet, but for first time airbrushing, I was happy. Now it was time to mask the window trims and to paint them black. This is one of the parts where it went all wrong. At this point, don't forget, I polished the whole body and put some car wax on it. Just keep it in mind and see what happens. The masking took a long time. I think it was like 20 minutes or 30 minutes trying to mask it all really tightly, and the spraying was like 3 times 1 minute. First time I did a light coat of black, and I already saw that the black was not covering the orange, but at this time I didn't know what I was doing wrong, so I left it to dry and went back the next day and put a really big layer of black on top of it. after this big layer, I still saw some orange. So the next day I went back and put another really big layer of black on top of it. All the orange was gone. So I left it to dry. The next day I went to take off all the masking tape and the paper. And that's the point I knew I messed up. What happened? Because I used the car polish on the body, the paint didn't stick onto the body, but also didn't the masking tape. And because of that, I used a really big layer of paint and it went all under the masking tape, all over the body of the car. At this point, I wanted to stop and look for a new hobby, and I was really done with it. In this model, I also had a lot of difficulties painting the orange, and I thought maybe this isn't my hobby, but I like doing it. So I just finished the model and I'm going straight into the next build, and I just wanted to get better and better after each build. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and follow my journey and watch me becoming better after every build. I don't have all the footage of building the engine, but it's also not the best engine that you'll ever see, so it's okay. I don't need all the footage of building this engine. For the interior, I had some black and brown combination, which I thought would look good. And I started with my pencil, but it didn't work out. So I took the airbrush and sprayed it. Which went a lot better. Now it was time to apply some decals and finish the interior of the car and put it together. I also needed to finish some last things on the chassis and for the suspension. I really like the part of the build where I put in the 4 red lights in the back of the car. It really gave the car his own face. Maybe that's strange to say, but that's what I see and what I felt. I don't want to talk about the glass windows because I also messed up with the glass windows. At this point, I knew I needed to stop for the day, but I continued and finished the whole car. But also the windows are a big mess. Maybe I'm not showing it exactly, but believe me, it's a mess. At this point, I finished the last chrome parts and glued them on the body. Okay, here's another part in this build where I messed up. I tried to put the body and the chassis together and it just wouldn't fit. I tried so many ways to do this, but it just wouldn't fit. I don't know if it was me or if it is the model that's not 100% fitting onto the chassis. I don't know, but I really had difficulties putting it together. Now you get some pictures of the finished build. I also don't know why LumaFusion gave the photos this really saturated dark orange feel over it, but this is it. I really hope you enjoyed watching this build. If you want to follow my journey to become better each build, please subscribe. It really helps me a lot to see people subscribing, or give a like